the dyke was partly arrived at by itself to begin with, parts of it. Then the population was quite high, and the grass land was fairly extensive at that time, not a huge amount cultivated. But the thing was, with the number of people, it needed all the grass in order to make food for people. So the sheep were eating grass, but at the same time we were eating them and we needed them. So what happened was they gradually built the stones to keep them out on the foreshore, because they discovered that they could live there quite well. And gradually, by somewhere about I think 1730 or so, I think, although I'm not quite sure of the years, round about that time the dyke was more or less finished and the sheep were excluded. All the communal work was really quite good in a way, but the division of it was very strict as well. Each of these houses had so many chains of foreshore, and it went in what was called mets. So Cruisewick would be here and here, then the next house, then the next house, and then Cruisewick would start again, and it would be the same sort of thing. And very often we used to have, well, it varied, it depended on the difficulty, and that was all decided by between the sheepmen usually. You did an annual round of the dykes as well, in whenever you could get at it after the ploughing and before, the sort of, whenever it could be fitted in with the land work as well. And you went over the whole dyke in spring, because that's when the sheep started to come in again if they could. So that all had to be done. If dykes fell, then even though it was our section, Cruisewick section, if a piece of dyke had fallen, then it would be Boosterton that built it. It wouldn't be Cruisewick. Cruisewick would do the maintenance. But if it was anything of a fall, then it was the toonship. And if it was a huge fall or a sea sort of knocking down a lot of dyke, then if it was too much for a toonship, then the other ones were called in by the sheepmen as well, and it was divided out. So if there was a lot down at Dinner's Nest, we would be going there to help as well. 1937, the dyke was down all the way from the other side of Scottigar, right round until you came to the castle at Hower, the Broch, all of it. And it was all built in 3 months. Women also worked at the dyke building, not so much building, but they gathered the stones and threw it into the men that were building. A lot of the men didn't build either. You can only have one person building and 3 persons maybe feeding the stones up. So you became able to throw stones at their feet, and nobody really got hurt with that either. And another thing that you had to learn was, when you were building, you never rested a hand on the dyke, because it was liable to get a stone from somebody else. And you needed to notice that, because the stones are heavy and they make the right mess, and it's sore. So that was it. So it was all done in a way that seemed to work.